Come on, you ready to listen to your next speaker? Yeah. Your next speaker is from my part of the world in California, in America. And as you can see now, I do not have to reach down and read anything from the teleprompter because he said he just wanted me to make it very simple, very plain, that what he does is he helps people make money. Who wants to make money? Who wants to make money? Yeah. Who wants to make money? Yeah. He's helped people and he has made over $100 million on the internet. Turn to the person next to you and say, I'd like to make $100 million. Well, there's only one person who can do that. Please put your hands together. Please stand on your feet. He's all the way from America. He just got here, but he's still looking cool, still looking fresh. Give it up for Armand Morin. Come on, give it up for him. Here he is.
A lot of things that we're going to go through today. Is that good? Yes? Yeah. We are going to talk about how to make money, of course, because that's what many of you have come here to know. Yes? Yep. Now, I'm not going to ask you that one question, who wants to make money, because from what Kerwin said and what we've just heard, you've probably been asked that question multiple times this weekend. Yes? Yep. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to actually show you how to do it, but also what we're going to do is we're going to have some fun doing it. And I'm going to show you some things about the internet that may almost seem impossible. In fact, many of the things that you need to know about the internet are so simplistic, anyone can do them. Is that good? Yes? Yes. One of the things that we're going to show you is we're going to show you how to get, for example, how to utilize Amazon to get all the leads you want. Is Amazon a big thing? Yes. Yeah, I mean, if you could write a best-selling book and put it up, let's say, within an hour, would that be good? Yes. What if you could get it listed in best ranking status in, I don't know, 24 hours? Would that be better? Yeah, or what if you could harness the power of YouTube and utilize YouTube in order to go ahead and, I don't know, get the top videos in YouTube? I know Lou talked a little bit about that yesterday, didn't she? Well, I'll show you exactly the whole piece of the puzzle as far as how to do all that. But before we get started, let's ask this one simple question. Who wants to earn an extra $100,000 this year? Would that be good? Yeah. Now, remember, an extra $100,000. There's a big difference. There's $100,000, there's an extra $100,000. We're going to talk about the extra $100,000. Now, I'm not famous. Now, how many people have ever heard of me before? Anybody? A few of you have. Yeah, I like you guys. The rest of you, leave. But if you type my name into Google, what you're going to find out is that my name is on a few websites, 744,000 on Google alone. If you go to Yahoo, it's no mistake. It's about another million people on Yahoo. On MSN, 467,000. So obviously what I do all day long is I sit there and I make web pages with my name on it, right? That's how you make money. No, actually I don't. But here's kind of the cool part. We just talked about Amazon just a moment ago. But if you type my name into Amazon, what you're going to find out is I'm actually one of the most referenced marketers in the world. Now, I've been doing this since 1996. Now, what does that mean? It simply means that I've seen the good, the bad, and certainly the ugly over the course of the last almost 17 years of being on the internet. And many of the techniques that you guys know and see on the internet today, I had a hand in actually making very, very popular. For example, have you ever gone to a website and actually had the website start talking to you automatically? Yes? Yeah, we were one of the first people to actually develop that technology to do that. How many people have ever went to a website and actually seen a pop-up on a website? Anyone ever have a pop-up? Not anymore so much, but it used to be a few years ago. Pop-ups were a big thing. I helped develop the technology in order to make pop-ups very popular on the internet. So it was kind of cool. But also, if you look, how many people ever heard of the term guerrilla marketing? Anyone? Yes? Guerrilla marketing was a term that was developed by a good friend of mine, Jay Conrad Levinson. And Jay developed that term to basically show people that anyone can make money doing anything regarding the term marketing, but also in a very bone-dry, cut way. Now, the term guerrilla marketing now is basically a household word when it comes to marketing and the people involved in business. In fact, if you open up to the beginning of that book, Guerrilla Marketing, and open up to the very first page, what you're going to see is that book was dedicated to me and a handful of other marketers. So is that kind of cool, yes? Yeah, I think it's kind of neat. But how many people have ever heard of The Secret? I know Kerwin asked you this question. How many people have heard of it? Yes, 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 yes. Now, the thing about The Secret is, I can say this without a doubt, and that is, I was not in The Secret. I can say that now after much therapy. Many of my friends were in The Secret, but I was not in The Secret. My psychiatrist says I can say that freely now after $10,000. I was not in The Secret. I was not in The Secret. And it's okay, but 40% of the people who were in the movie The Secret actually have trained with me. They've allowed me to help them build their businesses. They've come to my seminars, they've come to my training, many of them come to my home as well. But it's also, here's one of the things I want you to understand. As your business grows, every one of you are at a certain stage in your business. I know Kerwin asked this earlier. How many people have a business right now? Raise your hand. Okay, so over of you do. Some of you don't have a business. Who doesn't have a business? Raise your hand. So I kind of getting a good idea. But you know, as your business grows, and again, many people are here, if you have a business, you want your business to grow bigger. If you don't have a business, you want to grow a business. Well, as your business grows to a certain degree, you also get on certain lists. And that's kind of the cool part about this, is that, in fact, this is an invitation I received in the mail not too long ago, a few years back. It says, His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, President of the Prince's Trust, requests the pleasure of the company, Mr. Armand Morin, at a gala dinner to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Prince's Trust to be held at Buckingham Palace on March 16, 2006. So it was a few years ago. So is that kind of neat to get invitations like this? Richard Branson sends me invitations all the time, typically when he wants money. Very strange about that. But anyways, I got a chance to go to Buckingham Palace, sit down, and actually there's only a few hundred people there, and we got a chance to meet Prince Charles. We got a chance to just really experience a different lifestyle, quite honestly. And it was really kind of neat, but also you have to think about this. I'm a guy that works from home. Now, do you think anyone else there at that dinner worked from home? Probably not. In fact, they probably work an awful lot, unlike I do. But I work from home. The difference is this is my home. Now, for those of you that can't get an idea, let me show you. This is the actual door. So that puts it into perspective as far as how big the house actually is. Lou's been there. The house itself is 17,500 square feet. It's got an elevator in my house, and the cool part about the elevator is it comes right down to my kitchen. So that's always a good thing when you're hungry late at night, from my office to my kitchen in 2 minutes. So would it be kind of cool to have the home that you want, the lifestyle that you want? Would that be good, yes? I mean, think about this question. It's one question. Why is it that you're building a business for those of you that have a business? Or why is it that you want to build a business for those of you that are wanting to build a business? Why? What's the reason? Don't give me the bullshit reason. I want freedom. No. What's the reason? Fun. There's better ways to have fun than building a business. What's the reason? Money. Money's just dirty paper. Learning. Achievement? No, achievement's not it. Learning? No, you can find better ways to learn than building a business. What else? Significance, contribution, bullshit. Okay, what else? Lifestyle? I'll kind of go with that almost.
Financial freedom and legacy.
Legacy. That brings up something important. That's primarily the reason why most people build a business, whether you know it or not, is a legacy and a lifestyle. And what I mean by that is this. Typically, and I've talked to literally millions of people all over the world, what most people build a business for is not because of the reason for themselves. It's actually because of someone else. It's their children. It's their wife. It's their significant other. Husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it may be. We're always building it for somebody else. And therefore, what we have to understand is that we need to build it under certain constraints. And here's what I mean by constraints. Most people think of constraints as a bad thing. Does anyone ever think of constraints as a good thing? Yes? No? Some of you have a very interesting lifestyle. But that was a joke, by the way. I don't know if you got that. But anyway, here's what I mean by that. What happens is, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have enough time in order to spend it with the people that you love, do you really have a lifestyle? No. Do you really have a business? If you have a business, but yet you've not been on vacation in the last 25 years, is that a business? If you stopped working today, would your business continue to make money for you? Some cases, yes. Some cases, no. The fact is, most people have to work, and they don't have a business, they have a job. That's the sad part of reality. What we want to talk about is using the internet actually as a business today. Does that make sense? We can make a lot of money and we can make it really fast, but the reason is, see, my company recently hit over $100 million in total sales. Now let me clarify that. I want to clarify something, because a lot of times what you have is you have different people, different speakers coming up here, and they'll use phrases and they'll slip phrases in saying, with the students that I've taught and the people that I've taught and the people that invest in my courses and their friends, when you add them all up together, we've done over $100 million in total sales. That's what typically they'll say. No, this is how much money I've made. This is my businesses. This is not including my students. This is not including anybody else. These are just my companies. The difference, I did it all from home, and I did it with a team of people. Now, we actually just got rid of 2 people. Could I have 1, 2, 3? Could you stand up, please? Could you stand up, please? And could you stand up, please? This is my whole staff. 5 people. You know where they work? Not from my house, from their house. They all work from home. Now they work full time for me. He can have a seat, thank you. They all work full time for me, but they work from home just as well. And you know the funny part about the people in my company is they all have their own businesses too. They all have their own businesses using the same principles that I teach other people. They still work for me 100%, but they're also building their own businesses. And some of them have a very significant business. And we're talking significant, $500,000 plus, but yet they still choose to work with me. Why? Because that's the idea. They always want to learn more. They want to be around me, and we're friends, but also they work with me. Does that make sense? Yeah, so we have to think about that. Our business currently does about $20 million a year online. Is that pretty good? It's not shabby. Not too shabby. Now, what does that mean? It means if you take all these different people, these are some pretty well-known people. Would you agree? We have Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, Norah Jones, Gordon Ramsay, Kate Blanchett, Tom Dempsey, Tom Cruise, Ellen DeGeneres, Sarah Jessica Parker, Charlie Sheen, Nicole Kidman, and Jennifer Lopez. I like Jennifer Lopez. So, but here's the point. According to Forbes magazine last year, I have made more money than all these people last year. Is that kind of a neat thing to know? Does it make a difference between anyone else's lives other than mine? No, but it's kind of cool to know that working from home, I've made more money than all these famous people that you see in magazine tabloids and all these other things. So it's really kind of a cool thing, but here's the other part to this. Why am I here? If I made so much money, then why am I here? Well, it's simple. I'm on a mission, and what we are doing is we're expanding our company. We're expanding our company all over the world. We do seminars here in Australia, we do seminars in the UK, we do seminars in the US, and we do this. And what we're looking for is a select few people to learn my methods, learn my systems, because I have very simplistic systems. They're very simplistic, which means you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know exactly how to do this. Anyone can do these things, and anyone can do it, but we're also teaching them how to become internet millionaires. Is that pretty cool? Who would like to be an internet millionaire? Anybody? Yes? Yeah, absolutely. But the best part is, what I like about the internet and what you like about the internet may be 2 different things. You see, by becoming an internet millionaire, it means that you choose the way that you build your wealth. You choose. And Kerwin said something very important, and that was choices. Choices are extremely important. Money, to me, is about choices. It gives me the opportunity to do what I want, when I want, and how I want to do it. It's a choice between flying first class and flying economy. There's a big difference. I don't care, people, I don't want to pay all that money for first class. Those typically are the people that are poor. I mean, think about this. Does anyone not want to fly first class? Well, what if the plane goes down? Well, guess what? If I'm going to go down, if I'm going to die, I'd rather die first class, right? You know, the fact is, if we have a choice between first class and economy, we want first class. A car. The choices, the amount of money that you have determines the car that you drive. Now, I'm not all about material things, but also, here's the other part of it. Someone mentioned community. Someone mentioned about helping those around you. You know, last July actually, I made a trip to Kenya. We're actually in Kenya, and a friend of mine, oddly enough, happened to be a student of mine, was building a school in Kenya. And the year before, I'd sent some money over there, and he had built a school, and he sent me back pictures and videos and things of that nature. But this time, we actually went. Me and my wife, we went there, and we helped build the high school on addition to the school that we had built the year before. And again, my friend's organization, it wasn't just us, it was about 30 other marketers, 30 other, oddly enough, internet marketers that were involved in building the school. And this was one community, it changed lives. It changed lives. I mean, that's the choice that we made, but it gave me the option to help change those lives. Does that make sense to everybody? All of you have things that you are passionate about. I'm not saying you should invest in the school. I'm not saying that you should go out and help other people. Some of us have what I call our own personal charities, and typically they happen to be relatives, right? I mean, there's Armand Morin's theory of relativity, and that is relatives are there's certain relatives that you only see once a year for a reason. That is my theory of relativity, and you can figure in the rest. But anyway, now write this down. Here's where we get to it. Positioning, pricing, marketing, and recurring. These are the 4 things. The 4 things that makes the difference between becoming successful, and why I say successful is a relative term, meaning that what you believe is successful for you is going to mean something totally different to the person sitting next to you. And pricing, positioning, pricing, marketing, and recurring are those 4 key ingredients in order to make you succeed. And what most people have is they have no idea about any one of these. And therefore, they make the wrong choices. And they make the wrong decisions when building, especially something on the internet. And here's the reason why. The internet business, the internet marketing business itself, has only been around for less than 20 years. Less than 20 years. There's not much history about it. Now, I've been online since 1996. So like I said, I've seen a lot of different things happen, and most people don't see the curves and the cycles that are happening because they never saw them the first time around. But this time we see something totally different, and positioning is one of the things that many people just don't understand. We're going to start off talking about that, and that is the positioning of your products, the positioning of your service, the positioning of your brand, the positioning of where you want to be. Now, there's a common myth, and I bet you guys have the same myth here as we do in the US, and that is people say that you can't succeed yet because you haven't paid your dues. Has anyone ever heard that phrase? It was said by a loser. That's what, the fact is, that is an excuse to justify where that person is. That's what happens, that's what we do. My grandfather used to say, I don't want a house that big because then you'd have to pay the gas in order to heat that house, or you'd have to pay the heating bill. I don't want a car that big because that means I would have to pay the gas to drive that car. I don't want these nice things because that makes me justify where I am in my life. Do you ever hear phrases like that from friends, relatives, and people around you? All the time. All the time. Why? Because they want to justify to themselves where they are. If people can justify to themselves, then it must be real. I chose not to justify it, and the fact is, positioning when it comes to business, it's very easy. It's very simple. In fact, it's so simple, most people just don't get it, and I'll show you in a second. Here's an example. This is Ray Edwards. He's one of my students. How many people ever heard on the internet this legend almost of these $1 million days? People going out, they promote a product, they promote a service, and all of a sudden they get all their customers together in one single day. And they buy at the same time, typically a high-end product for about $2,000, maybe slightly higher. And then as a result of that, they make $1 million in a single day. Does everyone understand that? Yeah. Well, Ray Edwards is the guy that writes the copy behind that. He's the guy that writes the sales copy in order to get people to buy on a specific day, and he does very well at what he does, except Ray is also one of my students and has been for about 10 years. I spent 5 minutes with Ray. He said this question to me. In fact, this is the question exactly the way he put it. He said, how do I become a player? That's the exact phrasing that he used. We were in Las Vegas, and he asked me, how do I become a player? I said, well, what you gotta do is you develop 20 products. 20 products. I want you to write that down. You want to develop 20 products in your market, in your industry. You need 20. Well, what if I only have 15? You need 20. Well, what if I have 19? You need 20 products. Why? Because it's the Google type scenario that we want to follow. Let me explain. Does Google have only one product? No. Google has Google, then they have Gmail, so they get you there. They have Google Calendar. Once you start using it, you can't stop it. You have Google Drive now. You have Google on your phones. You have Google's on your tablets. You have Google's on, well, basically YouTube is Google. And they have all these different products that they come out with, and what they do is they surround you. Everywhere you turn, you run into a Google product. And because they make it so attractive and being free, you automatically start utilizing it. So it's the same thing with a physical product, or I shouldn't say physical, but a product that we are selling. What we do is we surround our customer, and once they buy one product from us, the next logical step is thinking, well, what else would they want to buy? And then we start developing other products that go along with those other products. And so what happens is everywhere they turn, they run into our products, and we're the next logical choice. And the best part is, because they bought one product from us, what does that do? What advantage do we have? We have a relationship. We have trust. We have trust with that customer. So I spent 5 minutes with Ray, and I explained to him this 20 product concept. I showed him that one idea, and over the next 6 months, he turned that idea into 20 different products. over the next 6 months. He increased his business to millionaire status, and he grew his business by 10 times. 10 times over in 6 months. Who would like, that has a business in the room, who would like to increase their business by 10 times over in the next 6 months? Would that be good? Yes, it's very, very simple. But here's another example of this, Frank Abagnale. Now, those of you that don't know U.S. history probably won't even recognize who this guy is because he never always looked like that. And here's the fact. He was an airline pilot. He was a teaching assistant. He was a doctor. He was also a lawyer. And it gets better, all before he was 21 years old. All before, who would like to be able to do that? Anybody? Yes, some of you no. Now, the fact is, he's now a millionaire as a result of that. Now, let me tell you the whole story. Frank Abagnale was the biggest check fraud forgery person in the world. They made a movie about him called Catch Me If You Can. Tom Hanks was in the movie. Leonardo DiCaprio was in the movie. He played Frank. And what happened was he figured out that forging a check was very, very easy, and he did it when he was actually even underage. He forged a check, and back then, this is the mid-'60s or so, he could easily fake a check because in the US, if you wrote a check, let's say in Virginia, which is on the East Coast, it had to travel all the way to Texas, and then it had to travel back to there, and this took over a couple weeks for this to happen. So if you wrote a check over here, you could fake the check, it would go to Texas. There was no computers at the time, and so he would do this all over the world. And in order to travel, what he did, he started faking his positions in life. He started faking things like being an airline pilot. Now, oddly enough, they never let him actually drive the plane except once, and he put it on autopilot. He knew how to do that, so he got away with it. He was a teaching assistant at Brigham Young University on his way to become a professor, because he faked his way into it and changed his name and instantly faked records from Harvard. Using those fake records from Harvard, he also went and became a lawyer as a result of those fake records, and then he faked some more records and became a doctor until they asked him, in fact, as a doctor was great because he made all the interns do all the work, so he didn't have to know anything. Now, the fact is now he's a millionaire, and what happened with his life was something very simple. What he did is he went to jail for several years, and then when he got out, they caught him in France. They extradited him to Italy. Oh, no, I'm sorry, they extradited him to Sweden. And then from there, he was supposed to go to Italy, and then they picked him up and brought him back to the US, where he served a total of 6 years in jail. Now, we're talking like $90 million or so that he had spent throughout this time. Fancy cars, the whole works, everything was in cash. You know, beautiful for him, but he got caught, went to jail. And now, when he got out of jail, he went ahead and started going to the banks and saying, I will let you know exactly how people are going to basically commit fraud in your bank, and I will guarantee my success and show you exactly where all your loopholes are. And if I don't show you, you pay me nothing. Okay, so he went in with a free offer. I want you to write that down. He went in with a free offer to these banks, so which is pretty cool. Now, the second piece that he did was he went ahead and started working with the banks, and all of a sudden he got a phone call from the FBI. And the FBI said, we need your help on these certain cases. So now he works in conjunction with the FBI, the same people who were chasing him all around the world, and now he works with them. In fact, his son now is an FBI agent. And now he has created this Abagnale and Associates, which is now a huge multi-million-dollar company as a result of him going to jail. Now, would you say that he knew about positioning in order to pull off those different pieces? Yes? Yes, because there are certain characteristics that you need to understand in order to do anything in life. And there's certain characteristics about marketing. So how do you position yourself? The first three things are simple. Appearance, look and feel. The beautiful part about the internet, and we'll talk about this more as we go on, is that you can look like a $5 company or you can look like a $5 million company. What's the difference? A little bit better looking website. That's it. The sad part is most people can't identify a good looking website. So therefore the website looks like crap, and therefore they don't make no sales. Number two, the products that they have. The type of products, the price point of the products, we'll talk about that. And number three, I just said it, which is pricing. Those are the three key areas as far as positioning. Now we're going to go deeper into this because it's very important. You see, there are certain signs of authority. When I say signs of authority, what I'm talking about is how people view you. People view you as an expert or not. Now, that's very important. Now, think about this. When someone comes up on the stage this weekend, you immediately associate that they are a what? An expert, an authority, right? Why? Because they got results? How do you know I got results? I could have just been feeding you a whole line of crap this whole time.
Because you're on the stage. But you know, you can go around life saying that every story you hear.
But that's my point, though, is why. Let me give you an example. There was a doctor, actually, I believe it was in Harvard, and he did this amazing study about people with authority and what people would do. And he had a very interesting, I won't tell you the end of it yet, but what happened was he had this student in a lab room, and then the other student would come into the other room, which was a see-through room. And now the doctor would have the student in the lab coat that he just gave him turn on the electricity, just enough to give the student in the other room a shock. Now, they turned it on a little bit, the student starts yelling. So the doctor says, stop. So now the doctor says, I want you to turn it up to twice the voltage. And all of a sudden, the student yells a whole lot louder. But then he says, I want you to do it 3 times the voltage. And then this student starts screaming to the top of his lungs. And he kept going and going and going till it was full power. And this student over here is on the floor, lying down on the floor, crying. Now, the test was not about the student listening to the person in the lab coat. The test was actually, if a person has a position of power, such as a lab coat, how far will they go? And because the doctor had 2 items, a clipboard and a pen and a white lab coat, and gave the student a lab coat to give them a position of authority, the doctor in question, guess what? Was not a doctor. And the electricity was fake. The test was to see if this particular student in the newly acquired lab coat would listen to the person with authority with a what? Clipboard and a pen and a white jacket. And guess what? They do. Perception. If I came up here with what I wore yesterday when I flew into Melbourne yesterday, and I stood up in those exact same clothes that I wore on the way in, you probably wouldn't listen to me as much. Yesterday I wore a baseball hat, a red baseball hat. I wore a t-shirt, and I wore a pair of sweatpants that had several holes in them, and a pair of $5 sneakers that I bought at Walmart. That was what I wore when I traveled. Why? Because do you think I really want to travel like this for 13 hours on a plane? No, I don't. I want to be comfortable. But there are signs of authority in your marketing. So what you need a book. A book. Not just any book, a physical book. Why? Because if your name is on a physical book, then you must be an authority. You have to have a physical book. If I was to tell all of you in this room, and all those of you that have a business already, I would tell you to get a physical book. Write a book about your subject, write a book about your topic, write a book about your business. Why? Because people can't dispute if you have a book on that topic. And we'll talk about that in a second, a little bit more. You need a website and /blog on the same domain, whatever that domain may be. A website and a blog, at least one. Professional products with a twist that we'll talk about in a moment. You need a proper email address. Now, I use Gmail. But if I'm sending it out to a business client, if I'm responding to a client in some way, shape, or form, it always comes from my website, which is armandmorin.com. You see what I mean? So it makes it very simple. Social media targets as well. So let's go over each one of these things because it's very, very important. Now, a book is very, very simple to do, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But a website and a blog, we'll talk about that and everything else. So let's start off with social media targets. Social media targets, we're not going to talk a lot about social media. We're just going to talk a little bit about it. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and LinkedIn. Everything else is bogus. Okay? Facebook, you need an account on Facebook. For example, it should be Facebook/your name, Facebook.com/your name, or Facebook.com/your business name, Twitter.com/your business name, Google+/your business name, LinkedIn/your business name, or your personal name. Because some of you, your product, your business name is the same as your own name. In my case, my name is the same as my business name. So it's just Armand Morin. So Again, those are the things you need to do. So you need to make sure you have all 4 of those. Is that complicated? No, but the reason why we want those things is what I call them social media targets, is because they will get ranked in Google. So if someone types in your name, your business name, they will not only find your website address, but they'll find your Facebook, your Twitter, your Google+, and your LinkedIn. All right there on the first page of Google. And what that also does is it prevents your competitors from actually targeting your name and being ranked underneath your name in the search engines. So if I have my website and I have Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and LinkedIn, that means I take up 5 of the top 10 spots automatically. So that blocks my competitors from actually cutting in on my business. Does that make sense to everybody? And you know what, with Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and LinkedIn, you don't even have to be good at marketing because they will automatically rank them for you on the first page of Google. It's that simple. So you don't have to worry about those things. But also, we're going to talk about pricing, and we're going to come back to those things in just a moment. But pricing, I want you to look at these numbers, because pricing is going to be very important for us. Now, $100,000, is that a good place to start? Yes. Would anyone sneeze at $100,000? No, absolutely not. But how do we get there? Well, what you'll hear a lot of people talk about, and what many people have talked about for many, many years, is the idea of using ebooks in order to get there. Now, the ebooks market has changed quite dramatically over the course of the last 5 to 10 years. 5 to 10 years has changed quite dramatically, but at $27, which used to be the typical price of an ebook, it'd take you 3,703 ebooks at $27 a piece in order to make $100,000. Is that a lot of books? Absolutely. It's an incredible number of books. Now, if you bundled books together, you'd still need to sell 3 books a piece, 1,030 books bundled at $97. So even if your product price was at $97, you'd still have to sell over 1,000 sales in order to make $100,000. Does that make sense? Okay, but now let's look at this. Let's change the game on this for a moment. If we change the game, if our goal is $100,000, with a proper price point, we can get there early. Who wants to work hard? Does anyone really want to work hard? No. Who wants to work easy? Yes, we all do. That's the kind of the idea behind this. But with the wrong price point, we fail with this, and here's how it is. 1997. 1997. Now, some of you may be thinking, Armand, there's no way in heck that I can possibly sell a product for $1,997. That's where you're wrong. How many sales do we need in order to make $100,000 at this point? 50. 50 sales. So let's just think about this. If you had 12 months with marketing and the right product targeted towards the right audience, could you find 50 people that would buy a $2,000 product from you? Yes or yes? Yes. Absolutely. With a little bit of advertising, with the right target marketing, you can find 50. Now, we just changed the game entirely because at one point we were at 3,000 sales, which 1,000 of anything, 200, 500 of anything, look around the room for a moment. Now, I'm just going to guess, and let's just say there's 100 plus people in the room. Okay, that means we need 10 rooms this size in order to make $100,000 if we needed to get 1,000 sales. Okay, and that's if our price point was at $97. But we could take this room, cut it in half, and that's all the people we need in order to make $100,000 at $2,000. Does that make sense to everyone? You see, everyone can visually understand what 50 sales looks like. You can't understand what 1,000 looks like, and typically most people can't if they had to put a number as far as the number of people in the room. I mean, think about the last time you were at a concert. When you looked around, could you, by eyeing it out, know how many people were in the room? No, not really. We know how many the arena held that we were at, but we couldn't physically tell how many people were in the room. So we need a high price point. But that brings us to the idea of marketing. Because we need the right price point, we need a higher price point, which makes our job easier, but then we got to be able to market it. So again, you have to find people, and here's the question, which do you want? Do you want to have to go out and find people, or would you rather proactively go out and have people find you? Which would you rather have? Number 1 or number 2? 2. Why? Because it's easier. It's simple. You see, if you have to go out and find people, that means you have to advertise. But if you don't have to advertise and you can have people find you, then that makes your job simple. All you have to do is simply be there, and that's going to be the key to this. And that's push versus pull marketing. Push marketing means you have to go out and push people towards your business. That's the short version. Pull marketing is set up with pieces so it automatically pulls the prospects to you. Now, there's various types of the different campaigns that we can set up, but the pull is easier, which also means once you set up these mechanisms, there's no more advertising. There's none. You don't have to advertise. You can have people just simply find you. Now, it sounds crazy in a lot of businesses that you don't have to advertise, but you don't. In fact, right now, without any advertising whatsoever, my website gets somewhere between 40 to 50,000 visitors a month with zero advertising on it. Zero. Is that good? Do you think if you had 50,000 people coming to your website, you think you could sell them something? If 50,000 people are coming, it's a matter of setting it up properly. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. So here's 7 pull marketing strategies. Number 1, blogs. Okay? And I don't want to say, I want to say this in the right way. Not just blogs, but a blog. Because what most people will do is they'll set up 10 blogs, 20 blogs, 30 blogs. And what they're doing is they're spreading out all their traffic amongst 10, 20, 30 different websites. One blog. One blog for your primary company. Think of what your primary company is going to be, and then set up one blog. So whatever your name is, if it's ABC Company, it's abccompany.com/blog. That's the secret. Blog/blog. Always name it just like that. Why? Because Google recognizes /blog as the place of where a blog should be. They give you higher rankings if your blog is at /blog.
Really?
Yes. So why? In fact, Matt Cutts, who's Google's engineer, in fact, he's the face of Google when it comes to search engine optimization and everything else. If you go to mattcutts.com, which is actually his website, guess what you'll find? Nothing. You have to go to mattcutts.com/blog. He has absolutely nothing on the front page. Now, he's an employee at Google. In fact, the leading person in all of the whole internet. And yet he has nothing on his front page. You have to go to /blog in order to see something there. So you need one blog, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Number 2, Facebook pages. You need a page for your product, your service, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Number 3, YouTube videos. Number 4, books. We'll show you an example in that in a moment. Number 5, free products to give away. Okay, give away something for free, and we'll talk about that in depth. Number 6, low-cost products, and number 7, free newsletters. Now, these are 7 different ways in order to drive traffic that are very simple, but they're all pull marketing techniques. They're all pull marketing techniques, and we're going to go over each one of these in detail. And what they're going to do is they're going to show you exactly how you can make this. Now, what most people do is they make the internet hard. They make it difficult. Is any of these things so far difficult in any way, shape, or form? Yes or no? No, it's all very simple. And it's even going to get easier once I show you behind the scenes. For example, a blog strategy, here's the easiest thing. First of all, if you're using blogger.com right now, get rid of it. Why? Because Google owns Blogger, yes? But guess what? What most people don't know is that Blogger blogs typically are 10 times harder to rank in Google's own search engine. Why? Because 4 years ago, Google made an agreement with all the other search engines out there stating that they will not give preferential treatment to their own Blogger blogs. Okay? So therefore, a blogger.com blogs will not rank very well. So you must use a software called WordPress, which is 100% free, doesn't cost you anything. And then what you do is you have someone install it. Now, if you don't know how to install it, I believe that Lou said that she talked about this yesterday, and it was called Fiverr. Okay? Did you guys remember talking about Fiverr? Yes. Okay, go to fiverr.com and ask someone to install your blog for you. Costs you $5, literally takes about 5 minutes. Most of you could do it for free, but if you don't know how to do it, save yourself the frustration and just spend $5. If you can't go wrong with $5. So use WordPress, have someone install it for you. And now here's the secret to getting search engine optimization. Everyone talks about SEO strategies and how to rank in the top of the search engines. Anything I post to my blog ranks in the top of the search engines, typically number 1. Now, here's the strategy and how to do it. What you do is you look up what keywords your customers are using to find products. What would a person type in logically to find a product just like yours, or to find a service just like yours? Find those keywords, and basically what you would use is Google Keyword Tool. If you don't know a Google Keyword Tool, it's a search engine, basically, that tells you, Google will tell you, from Google, that tells you exactly what people are searching and how many times they're searching. So for example, if my product was how to plant tomatoes, well, I would go to Google, keyword tool, and if you don't know where to find it, go to Google, type in Google keyword tool, and it will give you the listing for where it is. And then you type in how to plant tomatoes once you get to that tool. And it's going to give you all the variations of what a person would type in about how to plant tomatoes. You know, how to plant tomatoes today, how to get tomatoes to grow, how to do this, all these various phrases on planting tomatoes. Crazy stuff that you would never even think of. But those are the phrasing that people are looking at. Not just any phrasing, but those are the exact phrases in the way they're typing it in. So even if it doesn't make sense to you, those are the words people are typing into Google. Does that make sense so far? So now here's what you do. When you go to write a blog post, every blog post has a title. Okay, has a title. That's the first thing you have to write when you write a blog post. That's all you have to remember, is your blog post has to have your keyword or keyword phrase first. So let me give you an example. The keyword phrase would be how to grow tomatoes. Let's say that is my phrase. So if I was to write a blog post today, I would start off, my title would be how to grow tomatoes. And then I might add something onto the end of it. How to grow tomatoes for fun and profit. I don't know. How to plant tomatoes in the winter. How to grow tomatoes in the winter. Whatever the phrase is, that would be the first part of my blog post title, and then I could add words onto the end of it. But it always has to be the first part of the title. Does that make sense? If you do that alone with nothing else, you will rank automatically in Google for that phrase. Now here's what happens though. There's a plugin called WordPress SEO. WordPress uses plugins. This is the best one out there. This is the one I personally use. It's free, doesn't cost you a dime. It's called WordPress SEO. So what you do is you have someone go out and you type it in, and you simply go ahead and do it. Does that make sense? And then you fill in the blanks. It tells you what to do. You don't have to be an expert. It actually tells you, saying, this is your keyword. This is the keyword that you entered in. This is what you want to rank for. Then, here's what you need to place it. It's not in the description. So what do? If it's not in the description, you put it in the description. Okay, it says it's not in the title. If it's not in the title, what do? Put it in the title. It says it doesn't have what they call an H1 tag. Okay, well, then what do? You figure out what an H1 tag is, and then make it an H1 tag as well. All you do is you follow the directions. Can everyone do that? Yep. Women probably can, men probably can't. That's the reality of it. So what men have to do is learn how to follow directions. Simply follow the directions, go download WordPress SEO, and then that's it. You're done. That's the only search engine optimization I've ever done to my whole website. That's it. That's the only thing. And we get a bunch of traffic. Now Facebook pages, here's the beautiful part about a Facebook page. It gets indexed by Google. A Facebook page gets indexed by Google. That's why you want one. But one tool that no one uses, and what most people don't understand about a Facebook page, is that the posts, that when you post a status update to your Facebook page, see, most of you in this room has what's called a Facebook profile. So you don't have a Facebook page. Now, businesses should have a Facebook page. So what you do is you go to facebook.com/pages, and you simply click the green button at the top that says Create Page, and then follow the instructions. It's free, doesn't cost you a dime. You can have an unlimited number of pages, but here's the most important part. What most people will do, and when they talk about Facebook, and they talk about what you should do on Facebook, they'll keep telling you, well, you need to post content. You need content that people will love. You need content that's going to get, people talking about it. Well, guess what? That does nothing for you for search engines. Zero. And here's the reason why. Is because and we'll talk about that. Notes get indexed in Google, posts do not. Your post, all those posts, some of you, thousands of posts that you're typing into Facebook right now, guess what? Don't mean jack. Why? Because Google does not index posts. Why? Because they do not have an individual page on Facebook. It's impossible to index them from Google's point of view. So what do? Well, automatically when you create a page, if you click admin at the very top of the page, there's this program that's automatically installed right now in every page that you have, and it's called Notes. It's free. Facebook automatically sticks it there, but no one actually uses it. So what you do is you click admin at the top of the page. What do you click? Admin at the very top of the page. When you click admin, it will show you another space that says apps.
Yes.
And under apps, there's a place called notes. Default programs activate the notes. That's all you have to do. Now, what you do is you post your blog posts. You take your blog posts that you put, and you copy them, and you post them to Facebook in the notes, as the note. So now, every one of your blog posts gets indexed on your blog, and they get indexed where? On Facebook. So now, people say, but Armand, if it's on my blog, and it's on Facebook, isn't that what they call duplicate content? There's this myth that's floating around the internet and always has for years and years and years about duplicate content. And Google's actually own statement says this: duplicate content is the same information appearing twice on the exact same website. So does this qualify for duplicate content? No. Because it's where? Two different places, exactly. So again, we use Facebook in a slightly different way because notes get indexed, posts do not get indexed. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, it's going to save you a lot of frustration. So always at the end of your post, though, on Facebook in your notes, always put a link back to whatever it is that you want to promote. If you want something back to your blog, if you want something to a product, if you want something to a newsletter, put a link there underneath each one of the posts. Make sense so far? Anything complicated? No, it's very simple. Now, reports. And I used the term books earlier. Now, books, I want you to think about books as reports. Or I should say, I want you to think about reports as books. Because you want to create 20 to 30 page reports and put them on Amazon as books to sell. Now, there's a lot of people talking about this right now. And actually, I just happen to have my phone. You see, from the LAX, before I took off, I actually posted a book as an experiment. It was a 20-page report, and let's just see. I did nothing to it, didn't tell anybody I even did it. Okay, so right now, it's number 14 in Facebook's, on Amazon, under motivation. Now, what did I do? Nothing. Now, what am I doing? I'm giving it away for free. Now, let me explain. I'll explain why this works in a second. First of all, we shut off my data roaming. The last time I got one of these messages, I use AT&T back home, it says, your data roaming is now over X number of dollars, and we are now shutting it off. And so my bill was over, like, I don't know, $500 or something like that. From just not doing nothing, I had to explain that to my wife. So, but anyway, I'll tell you, that has nothing compared to what also happened the last time. I'll tell you. Here's what happened. So, Jamie, Lou, and several other people had this brilliant idea that we were going to go out for drinks one night last time, right? Now, they said that Americans can't drink. I said, yes, we can. So needless to say, what happened was I missed my plane the next day. And that wasn't the bad part. The bad part was having to explain this to my wife, right? Who then calls Qantas, and Qantas says, well, the next available flight is in 10 days from now. I'm like, seriously? And so then my wife has to book me a whole new ticket in order to get home because I'm doing my own event in like 3 days. So I have to make it there. So the only way I could get home was flying from here to Korea, from Korea to LA, from LA to Las Vegas in order to do my seminar. So it's a long ways to go to get Kentucky Fried Chicken in the airport in Korea, but that's how it happened. So anyway, back to my point. I have no idea what my point was. So create 20, 30-page reports and put them on Amazon as to sell. So now, here's what you need to do. Think of books as being reports. People always think of a book as being 100, 200, 300 pages. But what's happening on Amazon right now is the fact that you can actually take a book, a report, basically on Amazon. I took a portion of a report that I did last year. I condensed it into a book. I put it up on Amazon. I wrote the whole thing in Microsoft Word, first of all. So it wasn't some big software or anything like that. It was a report that I already had written. And then I uploaded it to Amazon. I gave it a title. And now, why would I give this book away for free? Why? What, anyone? Positioning? Maybe. Build an email list? Possibly. It's definitely one of the reasons. Test the market responsiveness now. So let me just explain to you how to do this, and I'll come back and I'll tell you why. First of all, kdp.amazon.com. That stands for Kindle Digital Publisher Program. Very simple. You go there, it's free to sign up. Now what you do is when you upload your books, you enter them into the Kindle Select program. Okay, the Kindle Select program, basically every 90 days, it allows you that you can give away your book free for 5 days. 5 days. Now, what some people have experienced, for example, this particular book so far, right now, since I left, which was, I think, Thursday, because I lose a day somewhere in there. So I left Thursday, I get here Saturday. So I left Thursday. On Friday morning at 12:01 a.m. West Coast time Pacific, it went live. Now since that time, over 1,000 plus people have downloaded my book. Is that pretty good? Yes. Now, do you think my book links back to my website? Yes. Do you think I offered a free newsletter? Do you think I offered other ways? You know, to get in touch with me? Yes, of course. There are some ways, but this is more a test because I want to prove a point without me doing anything. But now here's what happened next. Here's the other piece to this. What happened next is after I'm putting this up for 5 days, and I should probably have somewhere between 5,000 to 8,000 people download my book. Okay? Now, with those 5,000 to 8,000 people, would I ever reach them otherwise? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not, though. Probably not. Now, here's also what happens. Because they download my book, people can also comment on how good or how bad my book is. So now they can comment on it. And the one factor that raises your rankings in Amazon is comments. So we get a bunch of comments on my book. So in 5 days from now, my book will stop being free. And my book is priced at $2.99. Very important. It must be priced at $2.99. Well, so-and-so said the price at 99 cents. It must be priced at $2.99. You have to price it there. Why? Because if you don't price it at $2.99, or if you price it lower than that, you're only going to get 35% if someone should buy your book. At $2.99 to $9.99, you get paid 70%. Twice the amount of money. So that means off $2.99, you're going to make $2.07 profit if someone should buy your book. Now, is this supposed to be a revenue source? Can be, but I'm not looking for that necessarily. It can be, although if someone buys my book for $2.99, are they very interested in my topic? Yes, or they would be very likely to click through on my product or service or my website. Absolutely. So that's always a good thing. So what I'm going to do is this: I get to give it away for free. Thousands of people download them, and it gets 100% free traffic to my website just by putting up a report for free up on Amazon. Now, if people get sales from it after the fact, great. Our whole goal is to have hundreds of these books up on Amazon on various topics. Because everything that I've done over the course of the last 16 years, guess what? I was smart enough to not only record them, but I also transcribed them all. So I have files upon files upon files that we're taking and niching them down to 20 and 30-page reports and putting them up on Amazon. So is my goal to make money from it? I think I will. I think I'll make considerable money off of it. But at the same time, my main goal is to drive traffic back to my website for whatever it is.
And what do you sell at your website if you're driving up that?
Depending on the product. So one book may drive them to a specific product. For example, I might do a book on Facebook and teaching people how to advertise or market on Facebook. And I have a course that I sell for $197 on Facebook, as an example. Or I might have another course or product that I might sell for $47. Depending what the book is about, we'll match it up with the product that I have. Does that make sense to everybody? So again, the book is kind of like a preview to the course or product that you may have. Does that make sense? Everyone with me so far? Now, this is, again, the key part is to $2.99. $2.99 is one of the key pieces here. Now, next part is free products. Give away full products for free. Now, what most people will do for free is they'll give away half-assed products, which means that they didn't put a lot of time, energy, or effort into them, and then they expect people to be wowed by, like, oh my God, I got this free. Now, we want people to talk. The purpose behind a free product is to get them talking about what you have. Get them talking about what you got and how great your information is. So therefore, if they bought something paid, they're going to be wowed even more. Does that make sense? So give them something good away for free. And the reason why is to build a list, to build trust, to build a following. The more people we have liking us, and I'm not talking about on Facebook way, but just liking us in general as a person, as a marketer, as a business, the better we're going to be. So the bigger the list, the bigger profits that you'll make in the end. So again, that's part of the strategy by giving away things for free. Because if my competitor is charging a fee for it, I want to try to figure out a way that I can give it away for free. Let me give you an example. The iPhone. How many people got an iPhone in the room? Probably quite a few of you. Now, some of you said, forget it, I'll go out and pay for it. You know, no matter what my contract says with my cell phone company. Some of you went to a specific cell phone company because you got it for free. That competitor, that person, was a very smart person. Some companies charge for it, some companies will give it away for free, knowing they'll make it up in the long term. So if your competitors are giving away, or charging, I should say, for a product, then you figure out a way that you can give it away for free. Does that make sense? It's the fastest way to crush your competition. Think about this. Your competitor just comes up with a brand new product, brand new idea, brand new concept. So what do? You figure out how to do it, and you give it away for free. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, what does that do? It leaves your competitor with nothing to come at you with. Now, if you removed all the competition in the marketplace and you were the only logical choice left, how much business would you get? All of it. All of it. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. It's sneaky, but it's also very simple in order to do this. Now, low-cost products. When I say low-cost, $3 to $7. $3 to $7. Now, the conversion on this type of product, we've done this many, many times, can be about 20%. Now, if you talk to most internet marketers, you'll discover that their conversion rate is only about 3% if they're doing really, really well. But now we're talking about a 20% conversion into this $3 to $7 product. Why? It's because it's a no-brainer. People automatically will buy it. And after the purchase, this is the key to making this strategy work, is after they buy it for $3 to $7, on the thank you page after, you offer a higher price product, maybe for $47, $97, even $197. And you'll get about 10% of those people that will buy that product. 10% of the people. So what we're doing is we're getting paid to generate leads. Most people will try to generate leads for free because they'll just give away something for free and they'll say, that's my lead generation technique. And that's why they're going to go broke. Because if they're not charging anything for a product or service, guess what's going to happen? If no money is coming in, they go broke. They go broke. That's it. They go broke very, very quickly. So again, offer a product for $47, $97 after they buy, and now you have a profit funnel that makes money. So if you got paid to generate leads, how many leads would you generate? If every person that was on your email list was worth $10 to you, how many people would you want on your email list? As many, thousands, right? Hundreds of thousands, a million? Yes. But now, what if you had an unlimited budget in order to acquire those people? Would that be better? Yes or yes? Yes. Now think about this. Which is better, a person that gave you no money or a person that gave you $7? The $7 person. Why? Because we know one thing about them. They have a credit card. That's the only thing that we know. They have a $7, they have a product that, they have a credit card and we can put $7 on that product. That's what we know about that individual. But at the same time, we can generate an unlimited number of leads again and again and again. Why? Because every lead that we generate, it didn't cost us money, we made money on every lead. Does that make sense? So what we do is we make money as we are advertising. We don't lose money when we're advertising, we make money. So therefore, how much advertising should you do? A lot. If every time, think about this. Let me put this in another way. You have a stock, shares. You guys call them shares, right? So you have a share that is netting you no money. Do you keep it? Do you get rid of it? Okay, let's go back to the beginning. We have some issues here. So, money, good. No money, bad. Everyone with me, yes? Yes. Yes, okay, so we've established the very basics. The idea of a business is to do what? Make money. Okay, we're still with me. Now, if you were a share trader, did everyone hear Nick earlier today? Yes. Did he talk about share trading?
Yes.
Good. If Nick, forget you, if Nick had a share that was not making any money, what would he do with it? He'd get rid of it. But if every company that he invested with made him 3, 4, 5 times the amount of money that he originally invested, how many shares of that company should he buy? As many as he possibly can. So therefore, if your advertising was like trading shares, okay? Basically, if you knew that you invested in this place over here, and you invested in this place over here, and this place over here, and every place you invested always made you money, how much advertising would you do? A lot, as much as you could possibly afford, right? Of course. But now there's free newsletters. Free newsletters also build a list. See, a newsletter is different because a newsletter typically is monthly, once a month. Most people don't email enough. Why I say the average person, people says, I don't want to email my list. Because if I email my list, someone's going to unsubscribe. Of course they're going to unsubscribe. When I email my list, all the time people unsubscribe. But you know what? I don't care. Because if I have 100, 200,000 people on my list and 40 or 50 people unsubscribe, does it really matter to me? Yes or no? No. It's okay if they unsubscribe. It automatically happens, but my point is we want to get more people subscribing than we do unsubscribing. So most people don't email enough. You need to at least send out a newsletter every single month, at the bare minimum. In fact, my actual advice, 2 to 3 times a week, you should be emailing your list. If you have a list right now, 2 to 3 times a week. Question?
If you're sending your newsletter to your list,
yes.
how does it build the list?
Ah, that's the other part. See, the free newsletter, we have an opt-in page that they subscribe to. So what we do is we need to send it to them, but the point is we have to have a newsletter, though. That's the primary point.
That's from the website.
Yep, from the opt-in on the website. So now, here's the other thing. Most people will say, well, I need to write a whole newsletter. I don't want to do all that. Neither do I. You know what I do? Here's what I did. I went to 10 of my friends that were all talking about the exact same subject. And I said, okay, I'm putting out a newsletter. Do you want to be in it? They're like, yeah. I'm putting out a newsletter. Do you want to be in it? They're like, yeah. I said, okay, great. You 10 people, give me an article every single month. Okay? And so what I do is I don't even write it myself. I actually have someone take one of the things I've said that they transcribed, and they put it in there as one of my articles. And so we have this newsletter. It's about 40 pages long that we send out every single month to this list. And we use that to build our list. We give that newsletter away for free, which not only includes me, but 10 other people. Does that make sense? So now, how much work do I have to do? I do one article myself. But now, if I advertise in my newsletter, guess who keeps all the money from the advertising? I do. My friends get jack. Okay? Don't tell them. But no, they get a link back to their websites at the end of every one of their articles. So it's fair for them, fair for me. Everyone wins, everyone's happy. So it's very important. But now, what did I leave out of the original list? YouTube. YouTube marketing. I left out YouTube, but we're not going to cover it right now. Why YouTube? Here's the myth. The myth is that more people search YouTube than Google. That's the phrase that gets touted everywhere I go. More people are searching YouTube than Google. Well, that's true and that's false. Now here's what I mean. Technically it's true. Yes, people search YouTube, but are they looking to buy something? Think about it. Are you guys, how many people search YouTube, ever searched YouTube before? Anybody? I have. Was I looking to buy something from it? No. I was looking for, is Elvis alive type of scenarios. You know, the latest, the latest sighting of Bigfoot, stuff like that. You know, but the thing is, they're looking to be entertained on YouTube. But here's the piece. Why do it then if they're just looking to be entertained? Well, it's very simple. YouTube videos get ranked on Google, if done right, if done properly. So who wants to know how to get ranked in the top of YouTube in 10 minutes or less? Anybody? Yeah. 10 minutes or less. Simple. It's easy. Here's the steps. Number 1, get a video. Now, Lou shared with you, I think, one of my coolest tricks ever, and that was this website called Go Animate. Did she show you that video yesterday? Okay, Go Animate, just go to goanimate.com. GoAnimate.com. It's one of my coolest things I've ever done, came up with. And here's why. I use GoAnimate for all my videos, every single one of them. And the reason why is because I want something I can make a video in about 2 to 3 minutes. It takes me 2 to 3 minutes to make those videos. And I pop them up on YouTube. And what I do is I grab the video first from GoAnimate, I upload it to YouTube, and now here's where the magic happens. This is going to be the key part. You see, your ranking has nothing to do with what's in your video. Okay? The fact is that you're selling something, so therefore no one's going to be interested in it to begin with. Okay, that's the reality. If you are selling something, if you are giving away something, no one is interested. That's the facts. Get used to it. It's okay. People can say, but they're searching for that stuff. No, they're not. They're looking for whatever, Gangman's video or something like that. That thing, you know. I don't know what he's saying, but apparently a lot of people do. Anyway, it's nothing more than understanding how YouTube works to rank well. And here's what you do. When you upload to YouTube, the next step is going to ask you for the title. The title of the YouTube video. Here's what you enter in. Only enter the keyword phrase you want to rank your video for and nothing else. So if I want to rank for the term make money online today, then my title would be what? Make money online today. That's it. Simple enough? So the keyword phrase that I want to rank for is the title. That's the only thing I put in my title. Next, the description. Here's what you enter in. Write this down. Wherever there's a blank, enter the keyword that you want to rank for. So for example, the first blank, make money online today, in my example, then my website address that I want to drive the traffic to. If you are looking for make money online today, then this video will tell you everything you need to know about make money online today. Does it really make sense? Does it? Yes or no? No. Not really. Not really. Doesn't matter though. Doesn't matter whatsoever. So the description, you entered in, now don't kind of do it. Word for word. Word for word. The phrase, wherever there's a blank, enter in the keyword phrase that you want to be ranked for. Everyone with me so far? Okay, everyone have that down?
No, not yet.
Everyone need to write faster? Yes. Okay. So, blank, the phrase is simple. Wherever there's a blank, abc.com is your website. That's where you want the traffic to go to. If you're looking for blank, then this video will tell you everything you know about blank. Good enough, yes?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to go on.
Without the full stop?
Without what?
The full stop.
What's a full stop?
At the end of the word.
Punctuation.
You can put in a period if you want. Full stop. I'll remember that. We call it a period. So last are the tags. Now the tags are very important. Tags are how people find your video and what the phrases your video get ranked for. So this is going to be the most important piece as well too. So list out your phrase. Okay, now I'm going to give you an example in just a moment. You take your phrase that you want to get ranked for and you enter the variations of the phrase in every single way possible in a very methodical system. So what you're going to do is do this. Here's an example. So my phrase is make fast money online. That's the phrase that for some reason I want to rank for. Okay? Now my tags are always separated by a comma. So is that a half stop?
No.
Then why is that a full stop and that one's not a half stop? Come on. That would make sense, right? So now, the first phrase, make money fast online. Forget the capitalizations for a moment. Ignore those. Make money fast online. That's my first tag. Okay? The second one, make money fast. What did I leave out? Online. Next one, make money. Next one, make money fast online, which is the what? The last three of those words. Then fast online, then money online, which is the first and the last word, and then make money fast online. By just doing that alone, I can rank any keyword, any video, any phrase that you want. And I can get it ranked, I'll say 8 times out of 10 in the top 5 in YouTube. And there's only 1 or 2 times that I may not get ranked at all. If it's an extremely, extremely popular keyword phrase, I might have to use a secret weapon, and that is Fiverr. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Fiverr, and I'm going to type in YouTube video comments. And I'm going to hire someone for $5 to put comments, likes on my YouTube video. And they'll give me like 1,000 comments over the course of the next couple days. And now what'll happen? My video automatically goes to #1. That fast, that quick, that simple. You guys may be thinking, there's something else to it, something he's not telling us. No, that's it. That's all there is to it. I have students doing this left and right all over the world. All over the world, they use this exact same strategy. In fact, you'll be surprised when you start searching around YouTube how many of those Go Animate videos you will find. In every single one of those Go Animate videos, guarantee you, there'll be a student of mine. Absolutely guaranteed. And in fact, many of them are very easy to find out. But the fact is that this is how you rank the tags. So that's all there is. That's all there is to doing video. So, that's the way I do it because it's easy to remember. I start from front to back and then I go from back to front to back and middle to back. That's basically.